Good morning, children. Today we are going to read an interesting fantasy story, Peter Saves Wendy, which is an excerpt from J.M. Barrie's book, Peter Pan. It tells us about the adventures of a boy named Peter Pan who never grows up but can fly. Look at the picture. He lives in a magical place called Neverland with his group of friends who are called the Lost Boys. Also, there is a kind fairy named Tinker Bell and Wendy and her brothers. Now let's come to another character, Peter's enemy, a wicked pirate. Pirate means sea thief. His name is Captain Hook. Why is it Hook? Because he has an iron hook in place of his right hand, which he lost in an accident, and it was because of Peter. So you see, Peter and Hook are enemies. Now, Captain Hook and his crew kidnapped Wendy. Let's read on to find out if Peter is able to save his friend or not. So the story begins when Wendy and her friends are kidnapped. Let's read. Wendy was out in the forest when Captain Hook and his gang of pirates captured her and the children. The pirates tied the hands and feet of Wendy and the other children with rope and took them to the ship. "I want their captain, Peter Pan," Hook thundered. "It was he who had fed my arm to that crocodile," whispered Hook, looking a little scared. So Wendy and her friends were kidnapped by Captain Hook and his gang. Gang means a group of criminals. You can look at the picture. Hook thundered. It means he spoke loudly and forcefully. "I want their captain, Peter Pan." He is after Peter. Why? Because it was because of Peter that Hook lost his hand. Peter fed his arm to the crocodile. So saying this, he got scared. Scared means afraid. "We have noticed your strange fear of crocodiles," said one of his pirates. "Not of crocodiles, but of that one crocodile. It liked my arm so much that it has followed me ever since to eat the rest of me," Hook said. Thankfully, the crocodile had swallowed a clock, and whenever it is close by, one could hear the tick tock inside it. So, before it can reach me, I hear the tick and run. So, when one of his pirates asked him about his strange fear of crocodiles, he told them the reason. He says that he fears only one crocodile, who is after him, and thankfully he gets to know when that crocodile is nearby, as he can hear the tick tock of the crocodile coming from his stomach as he swallowed a clock once. Okay, let's move ahead. After a while, Hook found Peter sleeping. He noticed some bottles of medicine lying on a chair nearby. Quietly, he poisoned the medicine and tiptoed away. Watching all of this was Tinker Bell, a fairy. She flew to Peter and found him taking a nap. She woke him up and, in her silvery, fluttery, tinkly manner, told him that Wendy was in trouble. So now Hook found Peter sleeping. There were some bottles of medicines. He quietly put poison in the medicine and tiptoed away. Tiptoed means walked quietly on one's toes. And as you know, fairies help people. Here is a fairy named Tinker Bell. She woke up Peter in her silvery, fluttery, tinkly manner that Wendy is in trouble. Fluttery means moving wings up and down quickly, and tinkly means high ringing sound. Okay, so this is how she helped him. "I must save her, but how?" said Peter. Then he got an idea. Before rushing out, he decided to take his medicine. But Tinker Bell stopped him. "Why not?" he asked. "It is poisoned," she said. "Poisoned? Who could have poisoned it?" "Hook." So this is how the fairy Tinker Bell saved Peter from drinking the poisoned medicine. And now Peter is all ready to save Wendy, his friend. Thus, Peter was saved, and he rushed out to save Wendy. He walked through the forest looking for the pirate ship. He found Hook walking up and down the deck, deep in thought. Deck means the top outside floor of a ship. The children stood in line before him, all chained up so that they could not escape. Escape means to get away. All of them were shivering. Shivering means shaking with fear. Wendy was tied to a tall post. Post means pole. Hook told Wendy how he was going to kill them one by one. He smiled wickedly as he waited to hear her cry in fear. Instead, he heard something else. So now Peter rushed out. He found Hook walking up and down the deck. Children were all chained up. They were shivering, shaking with fear. Hook was trying to scare Wendy by telling her how he was going to kill the children. And then he heard something. What was it? Let's read. It was the terrible tick tock of the crocodile. They all heard it and turned in the direction from which the sound was coming. Hook's face turned pale with fright. Yo, he yelled, the crocodile! He has come back for me again! Hide me! The pirates took Hook away to a safe hiding place. When Hook was gone, some of the children rushed to the ship's side to see the crocodile climbing it. They got the sweetest surprise. There was no crocodile climbing up. It was Peter who was making the ticking sound. It was you, cried Wendy. I thought it was the crocodile. So did Hook, said Peter, smiling. So, children, this is how Peter saved Wendy with his wonderful plan. He was making the tick tock sound of the crocodile, and this scared the Captain Hook away, and children were saved. So, this was the story of Peter Pan. I hope you liked it. Now, let's do this book exercise. Choose the correct option. Captain Hook feared a fairy, tiger, or crocodile. We all know what he feared from a crocodile. Yes. The name of the fairy was Hook, Wendy, or Tinker Bell. What was the name of the fairy? Tinker Bell. Yes. The leader of the pirates was Peter Pan, Tinker Bell, or Captain Hook. You know the leader? Wicked leader? Yes. Captain Hook. Let's move on to the next one. Next one. The crocodile had swallowed a fairy, a hook, or a clock. What did it swallow? That it was making tick-tock sound? Yes, a clock. Wendy was a fairy, a pirate, or Peter's friend. Who was Wendy? Yes, Peter's friend. Now let's do true and false. Captain Hook wanted to kill Peter Pan. Was it true? Yes, it's correct. True. Peter Pan and Wendy were not good friends. No, this is wrong. Peter Pan and Wendy were good friends. This is false. Captain Hook and the crocodile were great friends. Yes. No, he was scared of the crocodile, so this is false. Tinker Bell informed Peter Pan that Wendy was in trouble. Did Tinker Bell inform Peter? Yes, true. The pirates had kidnapped Wendy and the other children from the forest. So, where were they? Yes, they were in the forest at that time when Wendy and the other children were kidnapped. So, yes, children, this is true. Write T for it. Read and enjoy the story. Thank you, children. Happy learning.